Okay. I hope you can all see my screen. Yeah,
Yes.
can you see my screen? Okay. So due to demands, we had to redo the introduction part. So it's a broader introduction into the web track. And when we want to understand the web track, there are some terminologies you need to understand first of all, so that you can dive into the web track and perform 1, 2, 3 services. Oh, one of the thing is a client. So what do you understand by the client in the web context? So a client is a software designed to receive a request from receives or request a service. So if you request a service from from someone, to understand like literally, when you request something from it's like you are his or her client. So in the web base, one of the things we have to have a deep understanding of the client. Another thing here is the internet. So what is the internet? Internet, I guess, we react with the internet, we interact with the internet on a regular basis. See, that's true. So our interaction with the internet on a regular basis, most of the people just interact with it, but let me say, like, it's like they don't know what the internet is. So internet is a global connection of digital networks. Okay. Also, another key aspect of the web track is the server. So server is a software designed to provide a particular service to the client. So, and also another term that we will use most of the time is the protocol. So what is protocol? Protocols are the standard that define communication on the internet. Yeah, I hope you can all hear me. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you.
Okay. Thank you. Now you can continue to. Okay, some terminologies also you can get is the client server models, client server architecture, and also, yeah. So what's the client server model? So client server is that instance where, yeah, you'll have client on one side and the server on the other side. So a client will request for something from the server will tend to look for it, and then it gets the it's required, what has been requested, the service that has been requested, it will forward back to the to the client. That one uses request and response. So once you request and wait, when the server gets the information that you need, it will forward it back to you in form of response. Okay, there are some steps in there are some short steps in web development. So one step is planning and designing. So while on this phase, on planning and designing phase, here is when you collect the user requirements, the system requirements, and every what you want, what developed, so that you can develop something that is user friendly, um, that meets the needs of the user. So here at the planning phase, there you interact with the people that will be intended to use will be intending to use the system. So after getting all the requirements about the system, now it's when you'll go to the next phase. Here's now the coding. This is the place now you'll put your coding skills, you develop you develop, let's say, a website. Yeah, once you develop the website, once you're done with coding, here you can it's about development. You'll come and do the testing. That's another step. Testing and publishing. So testing is where one will check for bugs, uh, check for usability, yeah, for let's say learnability of the system, how user friendly it is. So here at the testing phase, you'll know all that all about the system that has been developed, or the website that has been developed. So here, if in case it doesn't do exactly as it is required to, then maybe the planning and design phase, they didn't collect the requirements in a good manner. But if they did so and it has been published, now what you'll just have to do is the regular maintenance checks, running some checks to ascertain whether the it works. It can adapt to, let's say, new environments and things like that. Okay. Okay. So there are some things. Okay, you can check between layers and tiers. So what's a layer? Layer is a logical grouping based on functionality of and components and in an application. So different components some may have different functionalities. So the logical groupings that the logical grouping is what we call the layer. And a tier is a physical distribution of functionality and components on separate servers. So a tier, if you know something about okay, there are some different tiers. There is two-tier architecture, three-tier architecture. Those are some of the so two-tier, maybe one tier is client server direct. Two-tier, you can add, let's say, you can add, is it the data, you can add database as you progress slowly. Okay, so let's have a look at the client server model. So client server, a client, as we talked about earlier, a client is someone that requests a program is a program that requests service, requests so receives service. So so uh, once you have known the client and the server, it's easy to get information. So a server is a host running one or more application. As you know, for example, here in Kenya, during election period, the people usually say server. They don't know what the server is, but they just say server. So a server can be one, and it serves very many things. Okay, and also one thing you should know is that a server in a server shares resources. So you can find one server. For example, let's take like for Jomo Kenyatta University, you can find one server serves, let's say, the its satellite campuses, and it works pretty well. So this is just a simple illustration of the client server model. So as you can see, on one side we have a client computer, a computer that acts as a client, and on the other you can see there's a server. So here you can check that at one, the client requests for an action from the server. The server will check and will check for its resources, and it will give feedback in form of response. So this is just a simple illustration of the client server model. So as we tend to interact with the web, mostly we use the client, we use like client server because we request a service from the web. Let's say you are googling something, browsing something, so you'll request for something. The search engine will check everything, and then when it gets a suitable reply, it will send it back to you. Okay, I hope we are together.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what are, here we can understand what are some of the protocols. I said I talked earlier about protocols as one of the terms that we are going to use while interacting with here in the web track. So what are some of the protocols? So one of the protocols is the HTTP. I know most of us, while interacting with the web, we usually see this HTTP. So HTTP is a hypertext transfer protocol. So this HTTP protocol defines communication between a computer and the internet. So while while communicating, mostly we use the HTTP. Another protocol, another protocol that we regularly use is the FTP. FTP is mostly used for file transfer, for sharing files over the internet. Okay, there is SMTP. SMTP from the name is Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. So this one is mostly used for mailings and things like that. Also, there is one, the TCP. TCP is the Transmission Control Protocol. The, these protocols allows devices to exchange messages over a network. So this one, this protocol will enable devices. Let's say you're using a phone and another person is using a phone. So over a network, you can share messages and things like that. So HTTP, I told you what it does earlier there, but as you can see, there is HTTP and HTTPS. So HTTPS is a secure version of the HTTP. So since it has some encryption in it that that enables communication, since it's encrypted, some of it you cannot access. It cannot be accessed by, let's say, third party stuff or things like that. Okay, okay. The another thing is a document object model. So a document object model is an API for HTML documents and also XML. So here, a DOM defines the logical structure of documents and how they can be accessed and manipulated. So a document object model is works in this way. A document object model, you can see if you, okay, we'll see in the sub, it works in this way. There is a there is let's say for HTML, there is a HTML title, then it's like it's divided. There is the the header side and the body side. So each and every, let's say for header you have the title. So if you have the title, it means the title will be accessed independently in the document object model. When you come to the paragraphing, for let's say in the body you have the paragraphs, things like that. So each and every document can be accessed and manipulated independently. Okay, this is now a document object model. So you can see here, it's like this one is a one. You can see a simple HTML document and how a document object model works. So in the simple HTML document, you can see HTML header, you can see the body, you can see some tags. So when you look at the on the document object model side, you can see the document since you're processing the document, and you can see the HTML since it's the HTML is the file. Okay, you can see the header side and the body side. So the header side will in the header side you'll narrow down to the title, and for, when you narrow down to the title, you'll see on our index.html on the right hand side, you'll see my HTML document. So when you see my HTML, that is the on the document object model side. When you narrow down to the title, that's what will be displayed. So that's what will be displayed there. Now you can proceed on the body side. On the body side, you can on the body side, you see there are several things inside. There's a header tag, there's a div. So on the header, you can see there, you can see the div. You have a paragraph there. So under the paragraph, they have written something small. So that's just there. Also, it will be displayed on the document object model side. Also, for the other div, you there is there are two divs. So this, there's one and two, and also there's a there's a there's a paragraph up in tag one, and also there is a paragraph that has been specified. Has been added the class. So each and every, in the document object model, each and every part is execute is can be accessed and manipulated, like as in one by one. Okay, so here we have a, okay, like a little structure of the HTML. So the structure of the HTML, we have first of all the HTML title. So in the HTML title, there is it tells you what you're dealing with, because once you see it's HTML, you'll just know okay, it will be it's the root element. So it tells you you're dealing specifically with HTML. So once you have opened that, there is opening tag and closing tag. So the closing tag has a forward slash in front of the HTML. Once you have written HTML on top, and on the bottom, the closing tag, at the closing tag, you'll put a forward slash. Then now, after writing that, you'll have the header tag. So inside the header tag, also inside the header tag has a an opening and a closing. So inside the header tag, you can have the title tag. So in the title tag is what will be displayed on the URL of the browser that you'll be using. So here is when, if you write my document, that's what will be displayed on the URL in the title tag. So after the title tag, now you can have after the the title tag is inside the header tag. So after you have closed the header tag, now is when you have the body tag. So the body the in the body in the in the in the body in the body element, sorry. So in the body element, this is where you'll have most of the things that most of the things that you'll be seeing in the browser. So this is the place that it will harbor HTML on the browser, majority of things will be displayed will be from the body element. So okay, so that's just a small intro about the HTML. So uh, uh, is Jeff around?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can try that. You can share that that small stuff before now. Omolo continues with now the elements. Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's great. Let me now. Thank you for that. So maybe before I share, if someone is having a question, any person with a question? Hakuna swali jamani. Okay, so leo ni kama nyinyi wote mmesync, right? Hakuna mtu amefloat. So there's a form. This form asks quizzes. So in relate na chenye mmefunzwa so far. So basically you'll be using this one kama kujitest kuona to what level umeelewa chenye alikuwa nafunza, right? Yeah, so actually limit to, so itakuwa inachukua 10 minutes. So ukifungua tu hivi inaanza countdown. So within 10 minutes there are just 10 questions and each question is 10 marks. So ukimaliza tu hivi upon submitting unapata your marks. So hii ni ile tu for kujigrade. Then we'll also be having maybe additional like a 5 or 10 minutes whereby we explain why what is what, of which tayari hiyo alikuwa amecover in the previous presentation. So but hii sasa ni vetu sasa we'll be having from other members, yeah, defending those the answers that mimi hii number one answer ni kwa sababu ya XYZ. So this just to confirm. Nimetuma link kwa, I don't know if you can be able to access the chat ama nifungue tu ni share screen alafu ndio muone, but that one will be a lot. So nitaipost kwa WhatsApp group. I hope everyone is on WhatsApp. Alafu pia nimeshare kwa chat.
There's a question somewhere from Moffat.
Okay. Yes, Moffat.
Well, it's not really a question.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that, okay, personally siko kwa group, so yeah.
Moffat, can you see the chat? Some chats pia bado ni like haionekani.
Bado hata chats peke yake.
Na
Apart from yenye Jeff amesema, yenye Omola amesema, Jeff, please record the session.
Let me see kama mmeandika hiyo kwa chat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So but you can see the QA section within the hapo kwa nini? Hapa kwa Teams.
I'm trying to load it. Nione kama inanionyesha tu 17 minutes ago.
Good.
Jeff. Yeah.
So that's the QA session. So I can also naweza nitaweka link ya WhatsApp hapa. Ni kama I'll be responding to chenye alikuwa ameandika hapo, posting the link to WhatsApp as well as the link to the quizzes hapo.
Okay, it's okay.
So nimeipost hapo the link to the quizzes utaipata hapo, and also the link to the WhatsApp. Actually I'm expecting your responses. Yeah, kuona how are you guys faring on. Meanwhile, kuna mtu akona swali? Kama kuna mtu akona swali mkiendelea na the quizzes, I think Omolo anaweza endelea ama I don't know what do you guys suggest. We do the quizzes first, mkimaliza ndio tuendelee ama Omolo aendelee tu.
I suggest maybe we give them like 5 minutes. They do the quizzes and then I pick it from there.
Okay, so there's Steve. Yes, Steve. Hi, Steve. I'm not able to hear you well. I don't know if Omolo can hear. Omolo, unamsikia?
Not really.
I can't hear Steve.
Yeah.
Steve, please ask your question.
Ebu refresh alafu ujain tena ndio ulizie juu. Ni kama sauti yako is like breaking or something.
Yeah.
Yes, Moffat, bado uko na swali?
No, sina swali yoyote, niko sawa.
Okay. So there's the link to the quizzes. Nime respond to the question yenye Omolo ameuliza. Actually ukiwa na swali una post tu hapo kwa the QA part of the system. So una initialize tu hapo. Hata wengine pia wanaweza ama ku reply to your question. So not only the speaker but other members when you are the event pia wanaweza jibu hiyo. So unaweza post hapo ama unaweza respond then unaongea. So let's wait for like 5 minutes and then we see what we are having so far. Hata mimi acha nijitest.
And guys, for those quizzes, you don't have to use ChatGPT. Kama ujui usaibe tafadhali. Just do what you do.
Maona siwezi access hii Q&A bana.
You can't access Q&A.
Yeah. Sijui shida ni gani.
Anybody else experiencing the same problem?
Naniambia ni login sijui na nini na GitHub inakataa.
But uko kwa WhatsApp, right?
WhatsApp siku join juu hii ni first meeting, ile ingine sijui sikupataga communication clearly.
That's the same yenye tulikuwa tumetumia previously, just the same nini. Kama ulikuwa kwa hiyo habari.
Ebu acha nione group. Hii ni group gani? Ya
Hands-on experience. Yes.
Okay, kwa hii quizzes form?
Yes, hiyo quizzes form.
Asa wacha
Naona Ron anasema yeye anarongiswa moja.
Ron, umerongesha moja na hiyo quiz ni sijui ni nini.
Yangu sioni words.
You can't see any question.
As in the color ya words na color ya background ni the same.
Sure. Okay, let me see that. Turn on. Mwingine pia naona ilikuwa the same. Hata mimi nimepata soup jamani. Mimi nimepata soup jamani. Let me check. Nimepata 10/100. This is fiti.
Ron umepata ngapi?
Mimi
Okay.
acha nimalizie hii namba 10 ninanipea shida. Tasikumbuke Lea na Tia ni nini.
Okay.
Taya.
Mimi nimepata 8 bwana.
Nimepata na umejaribu sana. Unaona umeshinda mimi mbali sana. Umenishinda na 7. Umenishinda na 7 yote. So Natasha, ebu confirm kama the color sahi iko sawa. By refreshing.
Nimeamua tu kutumia kwa simu, iko sawa.
Okay, sawa.
Nimekosa hii namba 10.
Namba 10. Hii namba 10 kwa nini? Ni vitu nimeweka ina shuffle. So siwezi jua namba 10 yako iko na nini na namba 10 mwingine iko na gani.
Hii Taya na nini?
Oh, the tire and the layer.
Nilikuwa niongee lakini wacha hata malize kwanza.
Alafu nimekosa hii namba 1 pia, sijui iko na shida hii I guess.
Inauliza nini hiyo namba 1?
The protocols of the web. So I guess
Protocols of the web.
I guess mmeweka the incorrect answer. Maybe you'll just see. Maybe I can admit number 10. Juu sijui distinction clearly.
Yeah, protocol actually nimeona. You are very 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 correct. Tuko na network engineers hapa ndani.
Nimeona hapa hivi kuna shida mwe. Hii munge ni nini? Hii munge repair wrong hii kabisa.
Hiyo sasa ongeza 1 mark. Ongeza 10 marks.
So hii ni 90 sasa. Hii ya mwisho hii naweza kubali, hii nimesahau kidogo.
Ongeza umefika 10 marks.
Hiyo ni 90 sasa.
Uko 90.
Yeah.
Let me locate that network. Yeah, protocols. Okay, yeah, it is. It should be okay now.
Yeah.
So 16 responses, average score naona ni 83.8. Naona watu wanajaribu, mimi ndio nawaangusha.
Na mimi nimewaangusha na 10 marks hapo.
Mimi ndio nawaangusha hapa, mimi niko 10. Watu wananivuruta huko, wanipeleka juu, wanipeleka huko juu. Okay, let me see what people are saying. So question 1 kila mtu amepata, that's okay. Here what DOM stand for, mtu mmoja tu ndiye hajapata. The difference between layer and tire. Hii sasa watu wameuma soup sana.
Hii ni soup hii.
Steps in web development. Hii ni watu watatu tu ndio hawajaipata, lakini they were almost walikuwa karibu kuipata. Then protocols, hiyo maybe naweza sema kila mtu mmoja ndio alianguka, but kila mtu amepata. Huyo mtu mmoja si wewe. Sasa hiyo umepata.
Mimi naona nimeanguka 2.
Nimeanguka 2. Hiyo sasa tukitoka hapa hii hakuna kuanguka tena. What Peter does, hiyo kila mtu amepata. Penye naona ilikuwa inachanganya watu ni hapa kwa the tag ya kumeka text ikuwe bold, ndio naona choices zote kila mtu ameselect. Mara mtu ameweka strong, mwingine B, mwingine bold, mwingine hiyo
Mimi niko nimeweka strong.
Uliweka strong?
Niliweka strong.
Na ukasahau kuweka bold.
So mtu kwa leo kutik 2.
No. Jibu ni moja, hakuna jibu 2.
So what was the correct answer? B.
The correct answer is B. What does HTML does? Hiyo na hata hiyo naona ni watu wawili tu, ni watu watatu ndio hawajaipata. And which HTML tag is used to create a link? Hiyo mtu mmoja ndiye hajapata. Ya kubreak. Hiyo kubreak mmoja ndiye hajapata. But so far I see the average is okay, so meaning they're on the right track. Our average score for the day ni Let me see kama time imeisha ama bado inaendelea. We still have like 1 minute. Acha nione.
There is someone watching series. Afunge moja, afunge microphone ama afunge series.
Naona mikono moja juu. Steve. Steve is back. Are you using
Steve,
microphone or headphone or something like that?
I guess Steve can text because his microphone isn't audible.
Yeah, Steve, please write your question because your microphone ni kama you are reporting on a radio station.
Yeah, utaandika tu hapo kwa QA part. Hapo tu unaandika tu hapo discussion and then people will be responding. Mbona number 2 si choice D? Mtu ameuliza mbona number 2 si choice D? Hebu nione hiyo number 2 ni gani?
Aseme yake ni gani juu zilikuwa shuffled.
Yeah.
Hebu hiyo number 2 ulikuwa unamaanisha ni gani? Why do we use div in HTML and kindly explain the SNMP? It being one of the protocol. Hiyo ni Jen, okay. Then we also have Jeff record, hiyo nilikuwa kitambo sana. Ron ni hiyo yenye ulikuwa unasema hiyo ya protocols, ndio number 2 yako?
Okay. Can I answer that one of an SNMP?
Yes, please.
Okay, SNMP in full is simple network management protocol. So SNMP,
Simple network management.
yeah. So SNMP is used to monitor network devices over an IP. So here it's about if you see anything that okay. So if it's simple network management protocol shares monitors devices that are over an IP. So that's how it differs from what is it? SNM simple mail transfer protocol. Yeah, because SNMP just focuses on things over a network, over an IP, connected over an IP. Yeah, I guess I can say that's my answer.
Thanks. So Jen umeelewa?
Okay.
I'm trying to trace what nani naongea. Let me find out.
Neonix.
Next na naongea. Lakini yeye alikuwa nimejibu swali haya. So Jen, are you answered? Unaweza tu unmute ama unaweza tu andika hapo kwa QA, lakini betu hiyo si part of the QA, lakini so you can just type. Thanks. So any other question? Ron bado anatuambia ile jibu yake ilikuwa gani ama swali yake ilikuwa gani? Okay, so up to that point, I've received 19 response. Let me see how many are we in the meeting. 21. So ni watu watatu ndio hapana jibu. Imekuwa 20. Watu wawili, watu mmoja. Hii Swahili jamani. Mtu mmoja ndio hapana jibu. But so I think we can now proceed. So thank you, Onyx. If there's no any further questions, so we'll go to the second part of the session. And so
can I ask
yes.
a question?
Yes.
Kwa hii number 2 yangu.
Yes.
Okay, number 2.
Yes.
In HTML, which tag is used to define the main heading of a document? The main heading.
Yes. main heading. So for headings, we
yeah.
have heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, reasoning yangu ndo reasoning yangu ilikuwa
Yes.
like si heading inakuanga na title.
Kuna
unaanza
head
na
na kuna
title.
heading. So head na heading ni tofauti. So the head ndio unawekanga hizo title, but so heading is hizo yenye ni H1, H2, H3 hizo ndio zinakuanga headings. Iko sawa?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't confuse it with the head.
Okay, now assuming option C ingekuwa H1, then option D ikuwe H6. We still
So
opt
si
for
wameuliza main, so main unaanza from H1 ndio hizo
Yeah.
H6 itakuja huko baadaye.
Yeah.
H1 ndo
Ndio
the
ya
largest.
kwanza, the largest.
Okay, thanks.
Any other question to Onyx now? Any other question to the group? So we'll be going to the second part of this session. Itaongozwa na Omolo. So Omolo, karibu.
Yeah, can you hear me, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So I'll be taking us through the second session of this second session of web development. So Onyx, thank you. Yeah, so allow me to share my screen so that we can get started immediately. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, thank you. So before I continue, you can see I got 80 out of 100. So nilipenya. So let's continue. So guys, I'll be taking you through this section. And first of all, you have to
Walitumia
excuse
ChatGPT
me.
bana.
Sina. I don't have slides. I have poor design skills, so excuse me. So before we continue, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Omolo Khalif Oganda, but my default setting is Osego. So before we continue, if you like to connect with me, we can connect on socials. You can find me on LinkedIn, Omolo Cliff, that is my username. On Twitter, you can find me at Osego Baba. TikTok, find me at Osego Bar. And on YouTube, you find me as Osego Codes. So I'll be taking you through this second session of intro to web development, basically HTML elements. So basically what we're going to do here, I'm going to make everything that Onyx presented practically so that we can all see how to implement them. So hadi hapo tuko sawa?
Okay, so Steve, see,
Yeah.
you can just lower your hand.
Jeff, you are speaking.
Nilikuwa nataka kuambia Steve aloa hand yake lakini ni saa loa kwa niaba yake.
Oh, sawa, thank you. So let's continue. So basically what I'll be taking us through today. Wait a minute. You guys see it. Hello guys, can you still hear me or see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, well, let me continue. I thought I was out of the network. Yeah, so like I was saying, text elements. So every website that you see today is made up of text, images, videos, and links. Text is, however, the most dominant element in most of the websites. There are, however, variants of text used in a web page. Some used to display heading, paragraphs, blog quotes, articles, citations, and etc., just like Onyx mentioned earlier. Now, because mine is to show you the practical thing, is allow me to take you through a sample web. So if you come here to, let me open any website. Let's say, which website do you guys like? Let me visit maybe one WordPress here.
ChatGPT.
I knew. Thank you. So let's use ChatGPT here. So if you check ChatGPT, for example, this is a website, right? And this website, something that is unique to ChatGPT is that it doesn't have an image. That is, you are using ChatGPT 3.5 ya watu hawana pesa kama mimi. You realize that you can't even see any element of a picture or a video anywhere. But what you have is the text. All these are texts, right? So you can see that for a web page to be called a website, there must be an element of text. And hizi text zinakuanga mingi sana, like they occupy a good percentage of the website content. Tuko sawa hadi hapo. And in that website, where we are, let me take you to a different website because ChatGPT inatumia something that you can't use to learn. So let me visit a website like which one? Let me see. Yeah, I want to visit Laravel documentation here so that I can start explaining to you why we must give more weight on texts, right? So here I'm on a website for Laravel documentation. If you can see, we have a lot of text on this page. And all these texts here, they have varying sizes, right? This is something that I don't have to explain. You can just see that we have HTTP controllers here. It's kind of big, bold. Coming down, you see we have introduction, basic controllers, controller middleware. That text there, you can see there's a comparison between this one here and these ones here. I mean, these ones here. These ones seem to be large, which we can guess is which element. Maybe a heading, we will come to find that. Because kwa hii ingine where we have the introductions and the likes, these ones here, you can see compared to HTTP controllers, they are smaller, but when compared to partial naming and the one that follow here, these are smaller than these ones that follow the HTTP. Are we together until that point? So now the question is, how do we get to differentiate between this huge text here, medium text here, and small text here? This is what we want to unravel in our session. So stay tuned tukiendelea. Na tukisonga, if you have any question in the midst of my presentation, simply shoot it, right? Thank you. So you can see that most of the webs are made of text. Now, coming to the web text elements, we have a number of web text elements. We have paragraph. So we have a paragraph. Paragraph everybody knows, even if it's your first time learning about web or learning about computers, you know paragraph, because I believe everybody wrote compositions. That is paragraph, right? Now you can tell paragraph, for us to write a paragraph, we must use the p tags to enclose the content of a paragraph. We'll get into that into deeper details later. We have headings. In fact, this was one of the questions that was asked on the form about presenting the headings. So in the headings here, we have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, 5, and 6. So headings basically just show us they're used to define headings. So we have a range of headings from 1 to 6. Now, the size of these headings, if you move away from 1 to 6, the size decreases as you go from 6. For example, you can use H1 for the main heading, H2 subheading, H3 for the low-level headings. I hope you're together until that point. Coming to other text elements, we have lists. So we have lists. Everybody at one point you have written a list, shopping list, parking list, and all kinds of lists. So mainly if you have some items that you want them to be arranged in order or not in any order, but it's kind of list, we use the list element to define your list item. Apart from lists, we have the code. If let's say you are writing some documentation or writing a technical article, then you want to insert code on your web, you can use this, how do you call it? This code text element to tell HTML that whatever you are inserting at that point should be treated as code. Then we have, if you want to make text on your website to be italic, you can use the EM tag. That is self-explanatory. Yani ile text imelala hivi. That is what we call italic. You can use the EM element to make it so. Then we have links. Now, Without links, I think we wouldn't be having the web, because basically it's the links that make the web. So basically links is when you are told something like click here to register, click here to reserve your spot. So anything that when you click on a website takes you to a different section or a different website, that is what we call a link. So a link, for us to write links on our web pages, we use a anchor tag, which is the A. More on to that later. Then maybe you want to make something outstanding. You want to make it bold. To make something bold, we use the strong tag. This strong tag will make it ikae ni kama imewekewa rangi mingi, more darker. You understand? So that is for the strong bold. Also, we have underline. If you want to underline a particular text on your website, you can use the underline tag, which is the U. Once you have your content enclosed in between the U tags, trust me, it will be underlined. I'm sure about that. Then you have the block quote. What is a quote? You know what a quote is. Chinua Achebe says. So, for example, if you have something you want to tell us about Chinua Achebe, yeah, for the website to able understand, or the CEOs or the web crawlers to understand that this is a quote, it's recommended that you enclose it in between the block quotes. Then we have the subscript, superscript, and I. So basically, if you want to write something to appear like it's a superscript, yeah, where now we come to use the tag that is called soup, S-U-P. S-U-P, soup. We all familiar with that name, soup. So as I mentioned it, hivyo tu venye nasema soup. If you use it, any content enclosed in between those opening and closing soup tags will make your that content to be superscript. Ikuwe juu kiasi. A superscript is a text that appears slightly above the normal line. Then also we have sub. Sub, SUB, any content that is enclosed in between the SUB tags will appear slightly below the normal line, which is what we call the subscript. Then we have the I. This one here, we have this I here. Now this I here, this one is what we use to insert elements, insert icons into our website. So we have a large number of text elements that can be used on web browsers or on websites. But the most basic ones are the ones that I've just listed here, which we have the paragraph, the list, chord, headings, links, bold, italic, underline, subscript, superscript, icons, block quote, and many, many more. Now, the many, many more that we have plus these ones here, now I want us to go to our VS Code and do them practically so that everybody can tell the differences that we mean when we say heading 1 should be larger, heading 2 a little bit smaller, heading 3 kidogo, heading 4 kidogo kabisa. So let's do that right now. So I'll start a new project. So for me to start a new project, I'll simply, let me first exit that, my presentation. Then I want to have a new project so that we can have everything for you guys to see what we are doing here. So what I'll do, I'll come to a new folder here, MLSA here, Web Study Jam, then just make a new directory. Let's call it web. We are in the second session, so name it web 2. Then open that repository, that directory, then fire up your Visual Studio Code from that repository. So I'll do that right here. Open with the code. So when you open with the code from that directory, it automatically takes you into that folder on a VS Code. If and only if you have Visual Studio added to your path for the Windows users. Nice. So we all know each and every web starts with the index.html. So I'll simply use that. Don't ask me. You can actually use any name. Sio lazima uweke index.html, but itafika point you understand why we're using index.html. So let me do that, index.html. Yeah, my machine thinks a lot, so bear with me. So this is what we have. Now I want to write a basic web on right now. So because we're saving on time, I will use the emmet auto-completion to have a skeleton or the boilerplate. Right. So I want to explain a little bit about what we have here. So you can see I have doc type defined from the top on line number 1. This simply tells us the type of document that you are writing, that it is a HTML document. So doc type simply means document type, HTML. Then everything that you're writing on a web must be enclosed in between HTML tags. So we have the opening tag and the closing tag. Now, before we even continue, there's a concept that I need to explain first before we continue, is that most of the tags in HTML, they have the opening tag and closing tag. So opening tag, for example, let's check on something here. Let's concentrate on body. If you check at body, we have left angle bracket, the body, and then the right angle bracket. This is what we call the opening tag. On the closing tag, we have the left angle bracket, a /, the body, and then right angle bracket. This is the closing tag. So what does this mean? It means that anything that you will write in between these tags will fall under the body element of the website. So if I want to tell my website, this is where the body starts and where it ends, you must use the opening tag and the closing tag. So nikikuja hapa nitasema start of body tag. Then huku chini, because this is it's up here, this will be the end of body tag. So you must keep in mind that most of the elements in HTML, they have the opening tag and the closing tag, which is the body, opening body, closing body. If you come to the head, we have the opening head, closing head. Now, the difference between the opening tag and the closing tag is always the / that comes in just after the left angle bracket. All right, that is it. Now, from that point, now we have a basic skeleton of what we're about to build. Now, if you're using Visual Studio Code, now we want to preview what we are building. There's an extension that is called Live Server. You can come to your extension marketplace and then search for Live Server. So once you are here, just type Live Server. Then it will bring for you the first option, which is by retweak day, install that. Click on it, then because I have it installed, you will have your return installed. Once installed, if you check on the bottom right of your VS Code, you will see an icon which has something like a broadcast icon here, and it's written go live. So once you see that on your VS Code, it means you have your live server installed and ready to expose your local development. So I'll click on that so that we can preview whatever we are building on the browser. Let me click on that. You can see it starting. Then it will expose my to a particular port. So I thought we pay time ifungue. It's starting. Just like I mentioned, my machine thinks a lot. It's overthinking, so just give it time. Kidogo kitafungua. It's opening, guys. Don't worry. Hii mashini ikifungua mara moja ni hivyo. Yeah, so while it's opening, let's continue explaining what was done. Okay. You see, I told you. Once imefungua, no going back. All right. Very nice. Now you can see that I've already exposed what we're building to our browser so that we can actually preview what we build on our browser live, real time. So you can see at the moment, I have nothing at all on my browser, but there's an element somewhere. If you check on my browser tabs, these squares here. Now the current tab open is this one here. Now let me close a number so that we can focus on what we should focus on. Let's focus on what we should focus on. Let me just close about everything. Yapana, correct. Now, if you check up here close, you can see we have document. Now, I want us to switch back to what we have on our VS Code. Back here, you can see we have the document type here. Then we are writing HTML and the language is English. Here you can basically define the language of your website, English, France, German, anything. Then now we have the head section. Head section is where we define things like meta tags, title. Like Onyx mentioned, title is what will appear on the what? On the tab, ukule juu. Now let's check. We have document. Coming back to my VS Code here, we have document. So I want us to change it. Let's say web session 2. Going back to our browser, what do we have? Web session 2. So this is our title of our web page. So you can see, for us to change whatever you're having here, you change the title tag, which is on the head section. All right? Hadi hapo iko sawa. But still, in our website, you only have that element, hiyo peke yake. But on our body, which we are concerned that the users should see, we have nothing at all. It's simply white space. Now, how then can we start inputting elements to appear on the browser, on the main page section? You will come to the body section. Just real quick. Let me just type anything. We are enjoying the session. Let me save. Right, I've saved. Coming back to my browser, you can see now I have what? The text that I've just written on the body tag. We are enjoying the session. So this should ring something into your mind that if you want anything to appear on your web browser or on the main browser section of your website, everything must go in between the body tags. Hadi hapo si tuko sawa? Na I know tuko sawa.
Yes.
Very, very nice. Until that point, any question?
Ulize maswali, kuna maswali na wangoja hapa.
Mimi niko sawa. Continue.
Yeah, kumaanisha mwalimu wako sawa. Thank you guys.
Pia mimi sina shida, niko sawa.
Okay, thank you. So, all right. So let's continue. So for us to write anything, must be in between the body tags. So in the body tags, nataka to answer the first text element. Let's start with the headings. So I'll come and comment here. Now we want to talk about the headings. Now the heading, this simply will define heading elements on our website. Let's say we have the main heading, subheading, heading 2, heading 3, subtopic, kitu kama hiyo tukisonga. Basically just try and imagine what a heading is, right? So like I said, we have different levels of headings. In fact, 6 levels of headings. We have H1, we have H2, we have H3, we have H4, H5, and H6. Now, just without explaining what they do, let's do it physically so that you guys will tell me what they do. So acha nikuje hapa sasa. I want to write heading 1. I have it there. That is heading 1. Let's go back to our browser and check what heading 1 has done. We have heading 1, right? Acha niangalie heading 2. We have heading 2. Now, let me add all the other headings. Not one, so that you can now tell me what they do. In fact, I'm even being lazy. Let me just copy everything. 6. That is heading 4. Sorry. That is heading 5. Then the last one is heading 6, like I mentioned. Then also let's change these ones here. Heading 6, heading 5, heading 4, heading 3, heading 2, heading 1. So going back to our browser, let's see what we have on our browser. All right, so let's see. We have heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, heading 6. Anybody from the chat, I mean, anybody in the meeting, please tell me the differences in our headings. Can you tell the difference between heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Okay, the first person to raise the hand. Okay, let me give it to Moffat. Moffat, please.
Yeah. Actually, they're changing the bolding types. From heading 1, you can, yeah, you can notice there is a difference between the way they are bold.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. Any other person with a different opinion? Natasha?
There is a difference in the spacing.
In the spacing. All right, I can see that. I'm fine.
And
Let's check the last response. Zachary, umebeba mkono kabisa chini na nimekuona, so jibu. Zachary. Okay, so Zachary, you go. So let's continue. Basically, your responses are 100% correct. So you can see heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, 4, 5, 6. Coming down from heading 1 to heading 6, you can see boldness in a reduce, size in a reduce. Do you notice that? So it means if I was to talk about, let's say, Kabaka Mutesa 1 as my topic of today, that will fall under the heading 1. Nipene brief intro about who Kabaka is, what Kabaka did, blah, blah, blah. Alafu nachilia hapo. Coming to heading 2, maybe I will have something like the rise and fall of Kabaka Mutesa 1. You see? Now we're having Kabaka Mutesa pale juu. Coming to heading 2, we're starting to break things down. Now I want to talk about the rise of Kabaka Mutesa 1. Niende hivo, I just note things down. Coming down to heading 3, niseme maybe achievements zake. So basically, headings, they fall in respect to the importance of the text that is to be shown on our website. For example, heading 1 should tell us the most important aspect of what the web is all about, or the section of that web is all about. That is heading 1. And then now you come down to heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, with respect to the falling priority of the text that you want to display to the user. Tuko sawa hadi hapo kwa headings?
Yeah.
Tuko
Yeah.
sawa. Yes. Nice. So that is all about the headings. Let me comment everything out on the headings so that we can have something else. Now, in fact, before I do that, you can see that kwa headings, in the headings here, you can see that even if at the moment you can see that each heading is it's online, line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5, line 6. Question: why do you think everything is it's online? And what happens if I move this heading 2 here, niweke hapa? Who can tell me what can happen? Nikitoa hii heading 2, niweke hapa kando ya heading 1, what will happen? Do we have someone with an idea? Zachary, please.
Okay, I think they'll be executed on the same line, something like that.
Okay, nice one. Let's see. Is anybody else with a different response? Anybody else? Okay, nobody. So let's try. Jeff, please. Jeff. Okay, Jeff ayuko ni kama ana stretch. So let's continue. So let's try what Zakaria said. Amesema tukichukua heading 2 tutoe hapa tuweke kando ya heading 1, they'll be in the same line. Let's come and see from our browser. Zachary asijaenda hapo kando. So now this is the point. Headings are block elements. Headings are block elements. So what block elements mean is that that particular element will occupy the whole width of the screen. Okay. So irrespective of whether I will have this heading here, let's say Control X niweke hapo kando yake, nichukue tena H3 niweke kando yake hapa, tena nichukue gani H4 niweke hapo kando, hadi 5 na 6 niweke hapo kando. Let's try that and see, because this is a coding session, so we have to do everything practically. So acha tuone what will happen. Sorry, this should be not even there, right? Okay. Let's come to our web and see. You see nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
Everything is still on the same line. It's online. Heading 1, line yake, 2, line yake, 3, 4, 5, 6, hivyo. What this means is that these are block elements. A heading is a block element. In simple terms, a block element will occupy the whole width of the page. For example, this heading here imeoccupy hii nafasi yote. Ikuja kwa hii tena ikaoccupy nafasi yote hivyo hivyo. That's why we having each heading element on its own line. So that is what we call block element. Now, what is a block element? Element that will occupy the whole as available width of the browser or of the web client. Hapo najua imesync vizuri, kila mtu atapita, hapa mtapata soup. Nice. So we are done with headings. So let's move to something else. So after headings, we have something called a paragraph. So a paragraph is simply a paragraph. In simple terms, paragraph is a paragraph. I don't have to talk more about paragraph. The only thing I can talk about is that to write a paragraph, use a p tag. So I have my paragraph here. So a paragraph, we have the opening tag and the closing tag. A paragraph simply tells us whatever you are reading right now is a paragraph, okay? So let's go back to our browser and see. Before we go back, a paragraph is a block element or not? Anybody from our chat?
Yeah.
Paragraph is a block element or not? Zachary?
I think so. It's a block element. It's
Correct.
a block element.
So let's come here. Now we can see we have just added our paragraph that is here. This is our paragraph. We have just added the dummy text, the lorem ipsum thing. Nice. Now this is it. Very nice. So a paragraph is a block element. This paragraph is simply to write a paragraph. Simple. Let's move to the next text element of a web. Let's talk of anchor tag. Anchor tag tumesema ni kama the link. Anchor tag is like a link, but we don't write the link. We write to use the A tags. Now we have this one here. This is a link, and this is the anchor tag. This is a link, but this is the anchor tag, okay? Now, anchor tag is used to navigate between one section of the web page to another section, or from one website to another, something of the kind. So for example, this one here, we see we have the opening tag and the closing tag. And then we have the content of the anchor tag, which is Google, okay? Now this is the anchor tag text. Acha tuone. What happens if I remove this, what we have here? ehref. Let's leave that alone first. Tukue tuna anchor tag hivyo. Let's go back to our browser and see what we have. Sorry. Coming back to our browser, you see we have here what do you call it? This is Google, right? Now this is the text that was sandwiched in between our opening and closing anchor tags. Hii hapa, you can see if I hover hapa hakuna kitu, if I click hakuna kitu, right? Now, what happens when I come back here and return what I had removed before? Let's go back to the browser and see what changes. You notice now it's kind of purple in color. It's underlined. And if I hover my mouse over it, it changes from an arrow to a pointer, like a hand, kitu kama hivi ni hand. So you can see the difference. So nikiklik hiyo Google, the content, let me click and see. You can see we are redirected on what? The Google website. The Google website is what I defined inside the opening tag of the anchor tag. Angalia hapa. The opening inaanzia hapa na inaishia hapa, lakini humu ndani mwake nimeweka kitu kama href is equals to opening quotes, then we have the full URL of Google website. https://www.google.com. So if I want to redirect to a particular website, I'll simply come here and type that website's URL here. For example, in this case, umeona nikiklik our Google text hapa, imenipeleka kwa google.com. Let's try something different. Nataka niweke different URL hapo. Give me URL. Tuseme URL inajulikana sana huku ni gani? I'm trying to think. Let me try www. VSTech can do that. VSTech.com. Yeah. I think that is the correct if I'm not wrong. So
Yeah.
let's rename what we have here to VSTech. Coming back to the browser, you can see it now no longer Google, but it's now vstech.com. Okay, clicking on vstech.com, let's see what we have. What will load for us. Amazing. You can see it may load website, yeah, vstech.com. Now, the point that I'm trying to pass here is that whatever you pass in between into the href element, attribute, is the URL of the website where you want the user to navigate to when he clicks on that link. This link here is not visible on the body or on the browser. Whatever is visible there is the anchor text, which is what we call the VSTech, which is sandwiched in between the opening tag and the closing tag. Hiyo imesync jamani?
Yeah.
Very nice. So that is it. Now, still on the same anchor tag, there's something you noticed here. When I click vstech.com, imenipeleka kwa nini? A vstech.com website, but on the same tab penye nilikuwa. It means I no longer have access to my website which I'm building. So I have to go back and click navigate back to where I was from, the real conversation 2. Now, what if I want to maintain the user on the same page penye yako, but instead of navigating to the different website on the same tab, nipeleke kwa new tab? What do I do? I'll come to my href, my anchor tag hapa bado, niongeze something called attribute. So anything that comes in between inside the opening tag of any HTML tag, we call it an attribute. Attribute is a characteristic of something. So it's like I'm defining characteristics of the anchor tag. So href is an attribute. If I want to add another attribute, just press space. And in this case, I want to change the target. Now, because I want it to open on a new blank paragraph, I just give its parent to be blank. Now let's try that out and see what happens. Nikuja hapa, ni click hiyo. Do you notice now, instead of opening on my same tab, imefunguka tab nyingine mpya. That's the difference. Without the target attribute, it opens on the same tab. But with the target attribute set to blank, it opens on a new tab on the same window. Hadi hapo, kuna swali?
Kuna.
Okay. Before I interrupt this, Zachary and Moffat, is that a question, Mama?
Yes, it's a question.
Okay, please.
Yeah. Hapo kwa okay, could you kindly please explain kidogo tena hiyo part ya kuongeza ndio ikuwe into a new tab, like lazima tuweke hiyo target then
Yes.
tuweke blank in nini?
Yeah, so if you noticed before niweke hii, acha nitoe kwanza, si ndio?
Yeah.
Let me remove it first. Then hapa let me change it to Google ndo ilo haraka. Sorry. I've simply removed everything. Okay, nice. So let me just let's have Google here. Let's have Google here. Nice. So nitoe tena hii blank target. Nice. So this is how at first we had our anchor tag. Si ndio Zachary? Ilikuwa hivyo. Now, if we come to our browser, we have Google here. Now, take note. I have my last tab here is web station, right? Now, when I click on that anchor tag, which is the link to a Google website, what happens? Ina load on the same tab, which means it displaces my session kwa ile web yangu, inaenda kwa web session ya Google. Zachary, hadi hapo tuko pamoja?
Yes, tuko pamoja.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to remove the user from this station, nataka akiclick your link, instead of opening on the same tab, it will open on a new tab, right? So that you can maintain a switch on between this one here, a switch on back. You can switch in between where you are, evo, right? Now, to make that happen or make that a reality, we had an attribute. Remember I said anything that comes in the opening tag is called an attribute. href is an attribute. So there's another attribute, we call it target. When I want it to open on a new tab, set the value of the attribute to blank. That way, okay? Now, let's redo it again. Ile mara nyingine ili display session yangu ikafungwa Google hapa. Then what now happens when with that attribute tag, target set to blank. Clicking on Google, what do you see? Hii yangu bado iko, but imefungwa Google kwa tab mpya. So basically that is what target blank does. It opens that URL on a new tab. Is that question well answered?
Yes, it is.
Thank you. So acha tusonge mbele. What else do we have? Which kind of text? Let's do the lists, okay? I can actually comment out these ones here so that we can have enough spacing. Let me comment out. Yeah. Okay, back to default. Now, we talked of lists. Lists is simply used to write lists elements on our website. So for lists, we have two types of lists. We have ordered list, and then we have unordered list. Now, a list in itself is just a list. You all know what a list is. A list of items, shopping list, packing list, noisemakers list, kitu kama hizo. Naona. Now, we have the types of list. Ordered list is a list that is numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe Roman 1, Roman 2, Roman 3, Roman 4, right? Then we have an ordered list. An ordered list is a list that is not numbered. Maybe it could be having maybe just bullets, maybe some arrows, some bulletins, pointers, vitu kama hizo. Now, how will our web know that we are writing a list? Let's start with an ordered list. To write an ordered list, an ordered list, ni rahisi. An ordered U, list L. Close it. Then VS Code is very smart. It will simply close it for you. Now, once we have another list, and to tell that we are about to write a list that is not ordered. Now, inside our list, we have list item. This item 1, this item 2, this item 3, 4, 5, evo. Now, for each list item, we write it using an li tag. Now, open that tag, then list item, close. VS Code is smart. So let's say item 1. I have to work item 2. Item. So let me say this is what we have. Item 1. Sorry. Item 1. We have item 2. Item 3. Item 4. Item 5. Nice. Now you can see, coming back to our browser, we have the items here. Item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4, item 5. Just still on that, this is what we call an ordered list, Then huku chini, let's have ordered lists. Ordered list. Then, remember I told you, ordered list, it's rahisi. Ordered L, list O, close. Closed, open. Then, the list item ni ile, but itabaki list item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Press tab. Now we have list item 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, let's go back to our browser and compare. Check. We have OL, which stands for unordered. Then we have OL, which stands for ordered lists. Now the difference is angalia OL. OL iko tu na bulletins, like just bullets hapo. But coming on the OL, we have numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is it. List ni simple level, or a list item. So if you want to write a list, simply tell us what kind of list are you writing. Is it ordered or unordered? Tuambie. If it's ordered, should be OL, OL. Kama ni unordered, should be UL, UL. The list items zinakuwa same. The tags ni LI, LI. L for list, I for item. O for ordered, L for list. U for unordered, L for list. Correct. So hapa kwa list, as we build on, you'll realize that we have some other children of UL elements, like the heading of the list, kitu kama hizo, the list heading, kitu kama hiyo. So with the time tukisonga, you'll realize that there's more to list than just what we have mentioned here. So that is list. So let's go on to the next element. Next element ni gani? Let's do something which is bold. No, first let's do underline. Now to underline, you simply use the U for underline. So for example, nikuja hapa sahi, let's say I have a H2 tag, niseme, please underline me. Please underline me. Now, it's just a H2. Now, I want to underline that, the whole of H2. I can come here, niweke U hapo, then nichukue the closing tag, niweke mwisho mwisho. You see what happens? It underlines that H2 element. That is it. Okay, there. Let's have a paragraph again. Let's say I have a paragraph here. I am a paragraph. Now this paragraph, I want to make it maybe ikuwe italic. I said italics, we use the EM tag. So simply come here, have the opening tag EM, unganisha, chukua hiyo, the closing tag, cut it and put it at the end. Let's see what we have. You can see, I am a paragraph, imekuwa, imelala, ni kama imelewa kidogo, it's slanted. And that is how we write italics, the EM. Now, I want to make this italic again, ikuwe, like bold italic. And what this bold does, you can use strong. So tukuja hapa kwa on the same place where we are, tuseme hapa tutakuwa na strong. Simply have the strong tag enclosing everything that we have here. You can move it up there, irudi hivyo, like that. So let's see what we have. Can I reflect? Now you can see, first of all, it is italic. Second of that, it's bold. One more thing we can do, we can underline it here. To say everything inside there should be underlined. I want you to mark the pattern. You simply come here and say underlining everything. Do that. Then come here, grab everything, move it inside the underline. Save, coming back. I am a paragraph, it didn't do that. So it's either you can have it in between, Control X. Do that. Press there. Remove that. Check. Okay, now that didn't work. It means the precedence of these tags is also important. For example, you see if we have UL inside the EM, it won't work. But in this case, if we have the U, where did you have U here? Inside the heading element, it works. So take note of that too. Move that. So far we've covered the headings. We have heading 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. From heading 1, it's big, bold, and large. Coming down to heading 6, the size decreases, boldness decreases, it becomes more light. The size also decreases. Coming to paragraph, and also we said headings are blocks. it occupies the all widths available. Coming to paragraph, simply paragraph using the p tags, opening and closing, the paragraph content there, which also occupies the all width. Then we have the anchor tag, which will help link from one section of the web to another section. To mention something more on this anchor tag can also be used to move from the different sections on the same web. For example, assuming we have something like a div element somewhere yenye iko na an ID of homepage, or ID of about us. Instead of having it link outside here, natatoa hii target yote hapa kwa href niseme the ID is about ID. So sijali, soon utaelewa what hash means. Hash is simply used to identify elements using their IDs. You also have something like full stop or period. Used to identify elements on a page using their class names. So if I'm having an ID, now let me show you that because we don't have a lot of elements on our page. Tuseme hii page ilikuwa refu sana. That ikikuja hivi, let me say na scroll hivi, all that. Now, if I'm on a single page document, tuseme niko hapa. This is where I have my navbar, right? And the section where I want to navigate to is on page let's say page 20. Now I can have my anchor tag here referring to page 20 using an ID. So I will go to any element on page 20, identify it, give it an identification with an ID, niseme this is an about. So if nikuja hapo kwa navigation tab, nitaweka I want you to, when I click on you, navigate to the 20th page where I have my about element. Also, you can do the same with class names and the IDs. Then from there, from anchor tag, tukaangalia what we have, the lists where we have the ordered and ordered lists, and then we have the ordered lists. Kutoka hapo tutakuja na underline. So the U is simply for underline. That is for underlines. Let me comment that out. Sorry. Yeah. Then we have strong to make it bold. Then we have EM to make it what? Italic. Then you can maybe touch a little kidogo tu zingine mbili, maybe. But two, then we can maybe call it a session. So coming back, let's see what we have. Yeah, let's do subscript and superscript. So suppose I want to write something like 12 squared. No, let me just write a paragraph somewhere. Acha nikuje huku juu. Let me say I have H1. No, H1 is too large. Let's do H3. Let's call it a superscript. So superscript is up, assuming I want to write something like 12 squared. 12 squared. Normally, 12 squared, the other two, tunafaa kuja na su huku juu. Ama tuseme I want to write 12 December. I'll do this. 12, then have the first tag there, soup, close it, then andika pop, then close the soup. Then come write this December 2020. So let's come to our browser and see how it happens. Check, we have it here, 12th December 2022. And you can see 12th is a superscript. What is superscript? A superscript is a text or an element that appears slightly above the normal line. So kurudi huku, you can see nikitoa tu hii soup hapa. Acha nitoe hii soup muone what happens. We are back to default settings, right? But with the soups, my th is actually a superscript. That is it. Now let's do a subscript. Subscript, right? Coming here down, to say we want to write water. H2O. Remember, H is on the normal line, 2 below, and then O normal line. So H, then the 2 should be a subscript. We have the sub. Now let's check on our browser what we have. You can see we have water. Back to chemistry, water, H2O. So that's how you write a superscript and a subscript. Yeah. Any question? Any question hadi hapo?
All good.
Let's keep it all good. Mtu mwingine swali nyonyote?
None on my side.
We are okay.
If you guys can't ask questions, we'll ask you questions. Okay, Precious Leslie. Alikuwa na stretch.
Yes, my question was tukitumia ordered list.
Yes.
Like, how do we specify counter kutumia Roman numbers ama the numbers itself ama nini? Ama it's just random from the system?
No, it's not random. There's a way out. But unfortunately, I didn't check on that before coming here. So there's a way out. Lazima ikukuwe na way in which you can maybe do them to be Roman numbers, or even you have just the lowercase Roman numbers, uppercase Roman numbers. But the default one is always this bulleting here. But if you research and find out there's a way in which you can actually modify the kind of bulletins that you're having there. Same to this one here. You can also modify the numbering system there. So maybe I'll research on that, then I'll come back to you and show you.
I think I can help. Naweza msaidia.
Oh yeah, yes, Jeff, attack on that.
Okay, so thank you for that question. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. So hizi ordered list na unordered list hazijakuwa tu hapo by like coincidence. Kuna purpose zimewekwa hapo, na kila element iko na use case yake. Like sio tunazitumia tu Instagram, unasikia tu unataka hii ikuwe na bullet unaweka ordered list, ama unataka hii ikuwe numbered unaweka your ordered list. There's a use case. Unaona, for example in biology whereby you are told maybe to describe a process in a situation whereby unapeana an instruction unafuatilia step by step. So maybe your website maybe ina guide watu, maybe una recipe bila unaweza unda a particular meal, yeah. In that case there's a given step yenye inafuatiliwa, right? So in those situation whereby you have hizo ndio unaweza tumia hiyo order list. So kila moja iko na situation. So kuanza your question hiyo control the time ama the type of the bullets ama vile zinafaa kuwa zinakaa, the bullets and the romans and everything, hiyo inafanywa kwa CSS. So there's an inline style but sasa CSS niseme ni kama unaenda mbele ya gari juu CSS ni for topic hapo mbele, right? So there's unaandika tu style within the OL tag, then ukianza kuandika list, niseme umeandika style then uanze kuandika list, utaanza kuona options. There will be a lot of options. Nilikuwa nimeona Natasha amebeba mkono. Wacha nimalize na huyo alafu ni kupai time. So kwa option kutakuwa na list style type, list style position, list style image and line height step. So hapo kwa list style ndio una specify unataka kuipatia gani. Unataka kuipatia Roman, kwa inatumia Roman na inatumia nini. So hiyo ndio una specify hapo kwa list style. Actually kwa order list you can even determine unataka ianze wapi. So maybe your list ianze from 1 2 3 4 5 in a continuation of another list. So unaweza hadi control hiyo, unaweka start. Is it something? Yeah, start. Ukiweka the start then sasa unapeana value. Ukipeana value itaanza ku count from your start value umeipatia. So inaweza anza from 5 iende 6 7 8 9 10. So hizi elements ziko hapa zinakuanga na diverse, hizo zinaitwa attributes. So kuna attributes mingi unaweza tumia kwa kila HTML tag, inakuanga na diverse yenye haiwezi kuwa covered yote. So you will be also be sharing a link. Kuna kuanga na hii site inaitwa Safari something. We'll be sharing penye utakupata full documentation ya vile zinafanya. Hata kwa hizo VS Code yenye ulikuwa umeona Usego anatumia, ukiuva on a particular link ama particular element itakupatia vile inafaa kuwa inatumika. Sisi kama bado na present, ndio?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, good. So hebu uva on either of them, hata hizo H1 So when you ukiuva utakuwa unapata a link to a documentation inakupatia all information about that particular, all the attributes and associated with it and everything. Actually, hebu jaribu kuandika link alafu href hiyo ile umeandika wale. Yeah,
This
hebu
one
uva
here.
on that. Yeah, so ukiuva on that utapata inakupatia how that particular element inafaa kuwa inatumika, what the parameters expects and everything. So hizo ukiuva it kind of inakupatia summary of a documentation kitu inahitajika kufanya na hiyo element. Actually we are covered across all. If you are wondering if VS Code ndio nini na mbona natumia VS Code, what are all these, we are having another track in the dev tools. So the dev tools itakuwa ina cover the development tools and hizo softwares zenye mtakuwa mnatumia within your development journey. So the VS Code kama ni wewe ni wa is a communication, the team, Slack, everything. So GitHub, Git, whatever they are, hizo control versions and everything. So we'll be having there's a track in your dev tool. So if you want to learn easy the shortcuts and how to work with all this, hizo zinakuwa kwa hiyo track ya dev tools. Yes, Natasha.
Oh, I was saying,
Yes.
concerning your about the Roman numbers and everything, apart
Yes.
from using CSS in
Yes.
HTML, you can
Yes.
just say hapo after all, when you say ordered list OL, unaandika tu hiyo attribute, unasema type is equals to, alafu una open
Yes.
bracket, unaandika A ama unaandika hizo. So
Yes,
ukiandika
that's the
type
also
is
one.
equals to A, itakuwa A, B, C, D hivyo. Ukiandika type is equal there, that way. Hivyo tu.
Good.
Yeah.
So you can
Kuna-
also work with it on HTML ama ustall via CSS. So bado both things out.
Hiyo italics nilikuwa nimeweka hapo kwa chat kidogo kwa kiwe kidogo.
Kwa kiwe.
Angeangalia ungeipata tu.
Okay, now ni ile masaa yetu ya maswali. Juu hakuna maswali ingine lakini tuko na maswali yetu haijaisha. Ama mmechoka? Umepata the content overload, akili ina boil. So here is the link to maswali yenye tuko nayo. Actually ni maswali 7 tu. Si maswali mingi, ni 7 tu, lakini max bado zina total up to 100. So kuna vile zimegawanwa such that if you add them you get 100. So the link to the current question ni hiyo inakuja. Naona Zakari ako na swali bado. Yes, Zakari.
Okay, so I was inquiring about I'm a student at Mount Kenya, so nilikuwa curious kuangalia nilikuwa nimeinspect our website, so I saw something to do with the XHTML. So I was wondering, is XHTML significant to study before HTML, or can you explain more on that?
Okay, anyone, kuna mtu anataka kujibu hiyo?
Jeff, jibu hiyo.
Nijibu hiyo?
Jibu hiyo.
So tunakuanga na XHTML and HTML. So X ni kama tu nisema in full inakuanga extendable, ni kama tu extendable HTML. So vile nilikuwa nimefunzwa hizi na I'm recalling what I was taught nikiwa first year. Bado niko na memory nakumbuka hiyo. The difference, they're just similar. Ni vile tu sasa XHTML inakuanga more strict na say freestyle kama HTML. Whereby unaweza fanya makosa alafu uende bila kuadhibiwa, ile like unakosa close tag and you just go like that. The other one, they are just the same thing, but the other one ni kama inakaa kama say whereby there's ni strict na nini naisemaje, ni strict na hizo syntax zake. That is what I remember from what we were told. And someone mwenye kuna kitu ya kuongeza about it? I see unaandikiwa assignment yenu, style this page using internal CSS.
No. It's not yes.
Zachary, that's what my point of understanding your XHTML versus HTML. Oh, acha nitume kwa group pia. Sorry.
Okay, and then is it relevant to study both XHTML, like if you're passionate ama HTML is the one in question, like is it ndio sasa inahitajika kwa market ama kitu kama?
Actually say naonanga they're talking of HTML5, but it's good to study both. What I'll tell you for sure, if you kwa hii journey development, right? Sahi utoke uende kwa kampuni upate opportunity hapo, yes? Then you find them using a tool yenye wewe haukuwa unajua. You'll be forced to either learn hiyo chenye wanatumia, you adapt to it.
Yes.
At most of the time ni wewe kuadapt to what the company is using. Ni rare sana kampuni ianze juu unasema mimi nimekuja hapa nafanya Python na nyinyi mmekuwa mkitumia PHP, juu nafanya Python nataka mtoke hiyo PHP mtumie Python. Ni rare sana upate kampuni ina switch to what a developer needs. Most of the time ni wewe unaenda kuadapt to what they need. So inakuanga better ukuwe na knowledge ya both. So maybe unaweza study both, uone what's happening, so kuwa na knowledge on both.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for make it clear and more detailed.
Alafu Jeff Kemi ningesema
yes,
once umeshapata footing na HTML, XHTML itakuwa lighter, it's like a lighter. Sasa yes, kwako itakuwa lighter because ukishapata a very good footing ya HTML, because tu ni some si vitu mob ndo zimechange ndani, but once tu umesha find the perfect understanding ya HTML, XHTML itakuwa tu sawa. Pia don't forget pia kuna DHTML pia. Yeah.
Hamjatuma hiyo link kwa group. Naona kuna zingine natuma kwa group.
Okay.
Nimetuma na inaniangalia wondering. Naona mwingine hapa nimetuma just wondering, na hurumia mwingine hapa kwa karibu ku left.
Atumia mambo ya check up.
Time exam. Please don't leave time exam.
Karibu ku left hapa kwa group. Sawa. Haya, so I think the question, so tunaweza anza kuona maswali how it is going, tuone kunaendelea aje, then yes, we can start the quizzes. Pia hiyo ni 10 minutes, then tutakuwa na hiyo interaction. Actually we are having, not even planning, so it's just a communication. Vetua sasa nimeruka, mwenye nilifaa kufanya hiyo ni Omolo Uganda, hata nitamwachia fanya hiyo. So we'll be having 2 sessions and detail will be explained by Omolo Uganda. So every week tutakuwa na sessions 2 za web. And also Natasha will also be communicating with you. So we'll be having the AI track. So Natasha na Grace watakuwa na lead hiyo. So Natasha atakuwa anaelezea what will be happening. Leo sijaona Fanuel angewaelezea what will be happening kwa IoT. Let me check kwa list yangu kama kuna Fanuel. Na sijamuona. And we'll also be having Kelvin alikuwa hapa before you joined, so ni wetu wako kwa meeting nyingine sahi, so yeye pia atakuwa anachukua watu wa cloud. So hizo tracks zote ziko under kwa hiyo community and experience, you will find all the tracks hapo. Bado kuna swali Zakari?
Hapana.
Tuko kwa community.
Yes?
No, naangalia hizo quizzes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hizi maswali.
Ni maswali rahisi kweli kweli.
Hakuna take away hapa. Fanya swali kwa class.
Abra nataka take away.
Ini sope.
Yaani mzaza kufanya soup na mjamaliza maswali.
Tupeleka tu pole pole.
Angalia, mlipata average ya 90 kwa the session, the first part ya hiyo session. Hiyo huwezi sema upata 100. Ngoja tuone vile Omolo yeye anapata soup.
Nimepata number 6 peke yake.
Acha nifiche.
Usifiche, nataka tu kuona, tunataka kukupigia makofi kwa kupata soup. Mimi nione ni pesa ngapi nitapata ya kupeana hizo soup.
Wangapi wako ready tufanye kama Harambee hapa?
Mfanye collab. Actually by the way inaweza kuwa interesting, so mnasoma alafu you debate muone jibu ni gani, mkiselect hadi
kwanza
malize.
mfanye alafu tufanye collab hapa. Acha malize kwanza.
Alafu ndio mkipata soup at least
Harambee.
mna distribute. Mtakuwa soup itakuwa hiyo mmepata divide by the number of people participating, si ndio?
Yeah.
Haya, so hebu tuchape collab. So collab ni ya nani na nani na nani hapa?
So, hii collab nataka Kipto akuwe na lead group.
Kipto na lead group. Actually, acha niwagawe into rooms. Acha let me bring up my room. So
Okay.
Kipto anaenda kwa I'll be having 2 rooms. Kila room iko na watu wangapi 10, si ndio?
We are 10.
Yeah, so nitaanza na room 1. So room 1, let me open it. Nione iko closed. Rename to
Mimi kumbe si mbaya 88.
Umepata 88? Wewe ni bazu.
Big man.
Nimekosa gani? Nimekosa hii imekuwa kinisumbua ina batu bana. Nimefikiria Osego huko
Kipto
sema
ameenda
ina
room 1. Fiona tunampeleka room 2. Comfort room 1. Dakun room 2. Nataka ikuwe na equal. Geoffrey room 1. Gicharu room 2. Joy room 1. Judith ni room 2. Jane ni room 1. Mark room 2. Then Moffat is room 1. Natasha room 2. Omolo room 1. Onyx room 2. Presley is room 1.
Kama tumewekwa room 2 inamaanisha
Mimi hata nilikuwa nishamaliza.
Command utajipata kwa room yako, mtaenda mna discuss alafu mtatuambia why X is the answer and why Z is not the answer.
Mimi umemaliza kuniweka.
And now save. Now you are being
Nilikuwa namalizia ukiendelea kupanga.
Ulikuwa namalizia?
Wacha nione kama ni supu nimepata. 88.
Hapa 88 ndo mnachezea hapa 88 tu.
Hapo
88.
You can now join your various room.
Osego wetu west. Osego wetu west.
Okay, so let me wait for everyone to be brought back to the meeting.
Kuna mtu hapa ametoka na radio. Hey.
I think you know Moffat, ndio. Let me mute him. Moffat anasikia radio jambo. Wako wapi Moffat?
Nimemute.
Akupatanisho.
Anapatanishwa.
Mambo tupike sapa bana.
Acha tumalize tuende tupike sapa. Hata sasa naona hii saa ya sapa imefika.
Ulishakula.
Ndio nataka kwenda kupika sapa jamani.
Okay.
We are having 2 groups. So this the one that was from 1. Onyx was in one group. Then we were having Omolo on the other group. So which group will go first? Alafu tuende haraka. So kila group itakuwa ni kama 5 minutes itakuwa sawa, ndio tu by 10:30 tukuwa tumemaliza presentation. 10:37 tukuwa tunafunga.
As in tunafaa kufanya
You just present like why chenye mmepata and what you think was why you chose, like why did you choose X and why did you choose B. Just ni kama tu some kind of a discussion, ni kama just introduction, just present chenye mmefanya kwa group yenu. Unaweza fungua kama ni wewe ulifanya hiyo maswali, unafungua tu inafaa kuonyesha chenye ulikuwa umefanya kama ulikuwa umelogin. But kama haujaja huko umelogin, unafungua tu maswali, unatuambia hii tuliselect juu ya hii, tukaselect hii ingine juu ya hii. Mimi nilacha nitoe huyu jamaa mkiendelea.
Okay, nice. So group B was my group. So let's go fast.
Yeah.
You know, sharp students don't waste time.
Wewe
What a
ulitumia
issue.
point ya mwisho
Let me share our all right. So Kipto, take the floor. Please tell them what we did.
So for us, we chose choice A for the obvious reasons. So soup, we use it for subscript, and then soup. So sub, yeah, B, baba is for subscript. And then soup, yeah, supplementary, you need to for subscript. So basically, if you can see, you can also rule it out with elimination method. So C and D doesn't make sense, and then you come up with remain with A and B. So then the way it's structured, SP, SUP inaenda na the other way. So SUB inaenda na the way it's just structured. Any question?
I think
And then-
I think there's a point of clarification there, because I think there is a visual difference between subscript and the superscript, because ukiona subscript utajua hii ni subscript, ukiona superscript utajua hii ni superscript.
Yeah.
So I think there's a point of correction kwa hiyo venye swali imesetiwa.
Rumia Osego hamku notice hiyo.
Ngoja niwaambie. Ngoja iload. Mashine imehang. Nani ameongea mashine ikahang? Oh, ndio hii hapa. So you said, what did you say? That there's difference presentation.
I am saying like the subscript and the superscript, they have different visual presentation. Like ukiona zikitumika like in chemistry, ukicode utajua like kuna difference between this and this. Like this is the subscript and this is the superscript. But something like bold and strong, venye Natasha alisema, unaweza you can't tell the difference by just looking on it at it. Yeah, so they sijui kama mmenipata.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Mwana amebaki 2 minutes.
So
Okay.
for number 2, we went with strong, is definitely used for boldness, same as B and EM for emphasis, and then U for underline. So that's our point for that. So we can just rush and then probably pave way for the next group. So with UL, we use it for an ordered list, but then gives you a bullet kind of stuff if you don't add different attributes to it. And then OL, we use it for numbered list. Number 4, so Sego, maybe you can scroll kidogo. And then, so number 4, anyone can settle between B and C, but we saw C being the most appropriate for using a tag for creating connections to other web pages. You can as well use it within connecting your various sections within your page as well. So 5 block quotes, text, let's say bigger statements of quotes, let's say from a certain author, or let's say I'll take multiple, let's say, statements and lines, while quote is a single quote. So choice you use for long quotes, and then this one for short quotes. As number 6, we use I, of course, for italics, and then same as EM, but then EM creates more of emphasis, but they're semantically different. And then number 7, we didn't have the appropriate amount of time to discuss it due to time. So probably the next group can start from 7 and then they go all the way up to 1. So thank you. That's
Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Now will the second group, si tunaweza anza ndio tufike hiyo tumalize 10:35 exactly.
I think Natasha present.
Unaweza anza na number 7 kupanda.
Mtu ashare screen, mi nilikuwa natumia simu.
Maybe Aseko basi anaweza ku.
I share for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, in fact, that's what we started with. So we said we are using H-link. That is the other alternative. If you don't want to use the A tag, you can use the H-link tag. It can still work, but there are certain browsers that are not compatible with that tag. So if you're creating a website and you use that H-link, you need people to be able to access the link no matter what website they're using. So hiyo H-link italeta hiyo shida ya browser compatibility. Juu kuna browsers hazita accept. Umeelewa?
Okay.
Mimi nimeelewa.
Number 6, we said the same thing, I for italics, M for emphasis. There's no visual difference, but there's a semantic difference. Number 5, block quote, from the word block, like it means you're things, so like long quotes. And then Q is for short quotes. No visual difference. Number 4. So number 4, the A tag, the anchor tag, it creates connections to other web pages. B is also an answer, but it doesn't link images only. It links web pages in general, other web pages in general. And then number 3, UL is an ordered list. So it's not ordered, so it's bullet points. And then OL, from the word order, it's ordered list, so it's numbered. So we chose B. Number 2, U is used for underlining, so that removes B and C. And then A, strong, is for boldness. So that remains with strong for boldness, EM for importance, and U for underlining. Choice C. And then number 1, yes, we say the sub for subscript and sup for superscript, but we said there was we noticed there's a different visual presentation. But A was the closest answer. Hivyo tu.
Thank you so much, Natasha. So for group 1 and group 2, thank you very much. I hope everyone enjoyed today's session. So I'll be sharing the result. Don't worry, I did not capture the name ya mwenye alikuwa anajaza. Sija capture jina ya mwenye alikuwa anajaza. So uta stop sharing, alafu I'll just quickly share what's happening. So here are the results. Mimi ni Chibukati, nimekuja kutangaza result.
Na ufungua servers.
Ndio hiyo nafungua server sasa. Now.
Yote kila mtu ni anonymous.
Sasa si nimetu unaweza ona nimetu, so since mlijaza anonymously, you won't be able to receive a copy of this, but kama ulikuwa umejaza kama ume login, then it identify mwenye aliparticipate, then itakutumia copy of the result. So hii ni the before the intro. Naona kulikuwa na how many hundreds? 1 2 3 4. There were 400s. Machopi, sababu sema machopi. Alafu yeah, so hii average yake ilikuwa sawa, ilikuwa around 85 point something, ilikuwa average, but and there were 25 responses. That was a good, very nice one. So hii average ni 80. 25 responses, average 80, alafu nilifanya in 2 minutes, so that's a nice one. So namba yenye ilikuwa imechanganya watu hapa kweli kweli ni hii namba hapa, ambayo boss bado alikuwa amepata. But hiyo hii namba tu hii, alafu na hiyo ya ilikuwa ina hii ingine ya SMTP ambayo niligundua nilikuwa nimeweka kitu wrong. Then there's the part 2. Sasa hii part 2, acha nione average ni ngapi kwanza ndio nikuje. Hii watu 19, average ni 70, na average time ya kujuni kama mimi imewachukua time. Hii ilikuwa inahitaji kufikiria. So kwa scores tukienda hapa naona, let me look for 100. Kama ningekuwa naweza pata huyo mwenye amepata 100, huyu wa anonymous 18, nafaa kumtafuta anipe pesa ya supu.
Sahi ni 1,000.
Anipe pesa ya supu. Lakini this just for learning. Hii namba ni gani ilichanganya watu hapa? Okay, hii namba 6. Yes.
Unaona huyo anonymous 18? Akuje certificate of participation niko nayo.
Yeah, lazima pewe certificate. Then we actually kama ningekuwa na way ya nyinyi like ni enforce nione the actual progress. Juu kila session kutakuwa na hizi quizzes, then I'll be compiling them such that uko mwisho nione the performance, like nione kama kuna difference ama inakusaidia ama ikusaidii. Alafu hiyo inaweza nisaidia huko mbele time napeana zawadi, nione most improved ni nani. So ni vitu sasa ni anonymous, hata sasa kuna vile itasaidia sana, but nitaona vile nitaiweka, but hiyo sasa itahitaji mlogin. So thank you guys for today's session. I hope imekuwa interesting. But nilikuwa nimeulizia hapo mkiwa kwa groups discuss ways vile tutaiweka more interesting from here Saturday na hizo weeks zingine. So I hope hizo information ziko, since the time imeenda, hizo tutashare tu kwa group. So kuna hiyo group ya WhatsApp track, hiyo like web track kwa WhatsApp. So hapo kwa web track utakuwa tunashare tu hizo hapo, then we'll see how to make this session more interesting. Swali yote hadi hapo, mimi I'll just stop sharing. Any question up to that
kama
point?
kuna swali ama suggestion ama any observation. Mfuata amebeba mkono.
Yeah, nimebeba mkono. So yangu si swali, si kwa the previous the first meeting, na naona the meetings we are having zinakuwa recorded. Is there any chance mtu anaweza pata the first session?
Okay, so the first session niliamua drop. So unaona nani Onyx alikuwa ameanza hii session kama tumeanza fresh. Juu alianza na the intro tukienda. So kama vitu yenye zilikuwa zimesemwa in the first session ni the same thing tumecover, then tukaenda more detail. So hii ni kama imecover hiyo session imepita. So hii ndio tunaenda kuedit, kutoa unnecessary parts, then tunai-upload, then sasa itakuwa accessible.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, Felix.
So from my end, I just want to say thank you guys for opening this session for us to relearn again and go back to to the roots venye Osego alikuwa ametuambia. This session
Yes.
is interesting and you keep learning a lot. So, like mi sikuwa najua unaweza nini hizo vitu za italics, Roman numbers hapo.
Hizo
So you
tofauti.
see, yeah, so you see every day is a learning day regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Keep up the good work, guys.
Asante.
Alafu nitakuwa hizi maswali actually I'm fetching them from LinkedIn. Hizo is a skill test. They are called skill test. Natafutia HTML nawaletea hapa. Such that tukimaliza hizi sessions zote, tukimaliza web, ukienda kufanya skill test yako LinkedIn ni vetu ya wao wanapeana 12 seconds. Unaweza pita hiyo skill test.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So I think up to that point, Natasha, do you have something maybe you would like to inform them, maybe about AI ama actually in the next session tutakuinclude hii web pia, unaona unaweza ingana ufanye both AI na web.
Haina shida. So the data science, machine learning, AI, vitu mingi to the next session will be, itakuwa communicated but it will be next week. Haitafika Friday.
So next week before Friday we'll be having an AI session. Thank you so much. Mtu yote kuna swali Felix? Felix alikuwa ameshauliza, so let me just lower his sound. So mtu akona suggestion, actually nilikuwa I'm having a very nice criteria ya kupeana awards. Very very nice. So the first criteria mwenye alikuwa amemeet alikuwa anaitwa Fiona for becoming the first person ku attend, lakini akafail ku meet the second one ambayo ni kuparticipate actively in the meeting. Sasa amepita moja alafu hiyo ingine, lakini sasa anatumia logic and. Sasa hii and mbona inaweka false? So come early and participate. Alafu I'm giving you something good. But I'll see. So sasa mimi sina la kusema, so I'll just end the meeting unless there's something someone would like to add. Na nimeshukuru sana kwa mji wenu.
Osego, uko na
Oh, yeah.
stickers zangu.
Oh, stickers. Okay. I see. Lakini we'll talk about that. And then also we are thinking maybe on Saturday we can be having sessions to touch on backends. I don't know what you guys think. Can you make it something that can work?
Yes. I support that one.
Tell us the roadmap kwanza.
Okay, maybe we can get from you guys the stack that mtaka tutumie so that ile stack iko na watu wengi, that is the stack that will take.
Create tu ka ile poll yenye ili creatiwanga sometimes back.
Okay, very nice.
Yeah.
So maybe
go with your favorite.
We'll do that, then share kwa group community. Otherwise, mimi pia nimeshukuru kwa mjo wenu, just like Jeff has said. And I want to say this one has been most of the interactive sessions. I like it when people participate. And it was interesting to present to you guys. Nyinyi ni wanafunzi washupavu. You get things very fast. So keep it up, guys. Next week, same time, same place, tuna advance kidogo tukisonga.
Yeah, actually Tuad will be using the same link. So hiyo msijisumbue ati link ni gani, just the same link tu itakuwa inatumika kwa hizi sessions zote.
Yeah.
So good night. And now let me stop the recording now, and then we now stop the session, and bye.
Okay.